Hey guys, this is CasualNerdHammer.net, and I'm going to do a video here. It's kind of a follow-up to my last video and a response to Venturella, who is huge in the Warhammer community. I'm sure you guys know who he is. And we're going to be talking about the Kharadron Overlords. I know there's probably been a lot of videos on this, but it kind of, like I said, it's a twofold video kind of explaining direction I'm going to go, what I feel about this new look for the KOs. Let's just call them the KOs for now. Hopefully they're a KO in game. Yeah, see what I did there? KO, knockout. Alright, so, hello Dunk, right on time. Okay, so this was the first Warhammer Age of Sigmar release that really caught my eye. I have been paying more attention, of course, but this is the first time I saw G-Dub really do something that opened my eyes, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are badass, right? So I'm sure you've heard there's been a lot of talk about, you know, bringing a steampunk look into Age of Sigmar, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, you have these guys that have split from the dwarfs for a long time, considering how long ago 8th edition is in the Age of Sigmar world. These guys harness the power of some kind of aether gas or material that can float whole cities. You know, I feel like they have a look of great excess and flamboyancy and eccentricness to them. These guys, they've been living in their own land, floating above the world for a millennia, who knows how long, and they've developed their own ways. They're not dwarfs, they're not classic dwarfs as you've seen, and I really like that. I like it. I feel like Games Workshop has taken a cue from Malifaux, right? I'm reminded to when I was trying to get the crew into Malifaux, and a lot of the comments was, I don't like steampunk. Well, if you really look at Malifaux, like, I don't really like steampunk that much, but in Malifaux I play gremlins who absolutely resemble nothing of steampunk. They're little green guys that live in a swamp and shoot guns and raise pigs and do things to pigs that probably shouldn't be mentioned. And so, you know, it's nice in the Malifaux world because you have this different realm where all these different factions and people come from to do battle over soul stones and try to rule Malifaux. And I honestly think GW took a page from that book and said, look, we have the opportunity here to get away from the classic fantasy feel, but still allow you to play in that realm with given armies, and go into some different areas. And of course, like, intellectual property comes into play here. They can make up their own names, look their own style. I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody to duplicate the look of these KOs. So I get it. I think that's a great idea. You know, if you want steampunk dwarfs with airships, you got it. If you want to play lizards, you know, that look nothing like anybody else, you have it. Like, I feel like that's what makes Malifaux really cool, is the fact that, you know, if you're into the Kung Fu style and like having an Asian background to your army, you know, you have the Ten Thunders who are monks and this and that. If you want Western, you have it in Malifaux. So I think Warhammer is taking, Age of Sigmar is taking taking a page out of that book and going in that direction, and I like it. I really do. You might not like these Overlords, but I think it's really good for all of us that Games Workshop is taking a step in a different direction, and they have the ability to. They write the background, right? They write the things. So that being said, and I have the pictures here. So I've been thinking about these guys, and I really, like I said, as soon as I saw the airships, I was sold. It really helps answer the question for me of what I'm going to do with my armies and where I'm going to go. As I said in my last video about the Death's Heads and ripping them off their bases, thankfully I didn't do that. And I'm just going to keep them on their bases. I have a painted army for Kings of War that is a good representation of my abilities as far as a painter. And it's twofold, because I don't think from seeing what people are putting out with Age of Sigmar with these new models, and it seems like there's so many great painters in this game, and like I have my share of best painted awards for what I've done in the past, but I don't feel like anything I've done in the past lives up to what people are putting up now. I mean, I consider in the scheme of Age of Sigmar players, I feel like my painting is mediocre compared to what I've been seeing. I think a lot of that has to do with the aesthetics of the models that are being put out now. The newer stuff is really cool, and it's very conducive to some great paint jobs. And I also feel like with bringing the airbrush in now, airbrushing has been in the model industry now for a while, and more players are moving in that direction, and because the models are kind of helping that along the way. Now, the KOs, I don't really see the airbrush being huge. There's a lot of detail, and that you're just going to have to do with a brush, but I see a lot of opportunities, right? So we're going to go with the first model, and this is probably the most contentious model, because I mean the guy has a metal beard, gun sticking out, and a top hat, and I absolutely love it. I think it's hilarious. I think this guy, and this kind of plays into what I've been saying about the eccentricness of the Overlords, right? I mean they've been living a lifestyle like nobody has in the Age of Sigmar realm, right? They're in floating cities. I mean, they're massing gold. They have this gas that lets them fly around, right? So this guy seems to be the epitome of that eccentricness, right? I mean, he has guns in his beard, like he don't give a F, you know? So, I mean, this guy alone presents huge opportunities for branding the whole entire army. Like, obviously, this guy, he's probably a named character in the game. The whole top hat and like monocle with the beard, like that is a whole branding in its own. I mean, you can come up with a really cool logo, print off a ton of waterslide decals, place this decal all over your models, and it would just fit the theme so well, right? I really like it. I mean, it's so over the top. Yeah, this guy has a chainsaw and guns for fingers, like, but who cares? Like, it's their look, it's their craziness. Like, if you imagine these guys descending on the mortal realms, like, I don't know, going into a free guild city, like, they are so over the top. Everybody's going to look at them. Everybody's going to stare at them. You know, and that's exactly what I feel like this army needs to be. The GW paint style, let me get a drink here. The theme GW picked for these guys, I think it's pretty cool. I like purple, I like black. I like that they threw in some off-white to warm it up a little bit. I think the purple's kind of on the warm side, whereas the black is cold, so it's kind of like this weird balance. I don't think they went as far as they possibly could, right? Let's go off of the chain gun guy. Let's go to one of the airships. Yeah, let's see here. I think he's back this way. All right, so the big mammoth airship, right? So humans have long been infatuated with flying vehicles. I mean, you look at old art, and I mean even stuff Michelangelo did. Was it Michelangelo? I might be totally killing it. We've always wanted to fly, right? And it's from the first time we've started with hot air balloons. Like the balloon thing, the balloon was like a great canvas for art, basically, right? So you have this huge flying device in the air, and the only thing you see from miles around is the balloon. And so the cart wasn't, the basket isn't that flamboyant, but these big balloons are huge and beautiful, right? Like, let's just pull up here. Hot air balloons. I mean, colors are absolutely insane, gaudy, over the top, totally fitting into what I feel the Overlord should be, right? I mean, I feel like G-Dub, I feel like they missed an opportunity. Like, painting these bronze, yeah, I get it, there's gas in there, da, 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 da. Ship looks great, I love the purple and the black, but there's a missed opportunity up here. Like, these balloons could be so much more colorful, and just really kind of push the whole thing over the top. Maybe you don't even do these, maybe you don't even use them, and you just make your own balloons or airships. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. The airbrush is great on round surfaces. So that's what I'm thinking, like, kind of, at first I thought, let's go dark and gritty with them. Let's do like a pirate theme and really hit that aspect. And, you know, the first thing that pops in my mind for that is like red, black, white, skulls everywhere. And then I'm like, oh, I already did that with the Death's Heads, right? So I feel like, okay, well, what else? And then I'm starting to do, you know, research into art and airships of vintage balloons in the past, and I keep seeing this same trend, right? You have just flamboyant balloons floating everywhere, right? And I just feel like these guys just fit that theme. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. You know, you look at some of this vintage stuff, and you know, Jules Verne's Vince, you know, recommended or started talking about him a little bit and his style, and and the art that has come with it. And I think it's just a really wide open field for making some really cool stuff for the Overlords. Um, so yeah, so I think that I mean GW can only go so far, and there's only one model to paint. So, but I think these balloons up here could definitely be bringing a ton of color into your scheme. Um, so what this is going to do, I'm starting this army. Simple as that. I'm starting this army. It was the first. I mean, they're so different. They're so out there. I just love the look of them, and so I'm going to start this army. And what I'm going to do is, since my playing has been limited, I'm going to keep the Death Heads on their bases. I have Ogres that I'm going to play with Age of Sigmar anytime I can get a game and play. But I'm going to start a series on this channel where I'm painting these Overlords. I'm going to go from box opening to any trouble that I find putting them together. I'm going to film all the painting and then narrate over it, and let you guys kind of take a trip with me as I venture into Age of Sigmar and a new army, something that hasn't been seen before. I think it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be a really cool series. It's also going to help motivate me paint, because I really haven't been. Ever since I got into Kings of War, like, painting has just kind of been like, meh. I don't really need to do it. I don't feel like I want to do it. And this is the first time I've seen some models in an army in a game that I want to play now really strike my interest. And I feel like it would be a lot of fun doing some videos of how I paint these guys, because I see a lot of technique that is going to have to go into this between the airbrush, between modeling, between maybe any alterations that could be done. Like I said, I mean, you have a whole opportunity to, you know, if you don't like the metal balloons, like, just rip them off, and you have these cool flying airships, and like Anthony said from HR, you know, they're levitated by magic. Who cares, you know? But I kind of like the balloons. I think they're going to be a great spot that I can add some crazy color and do some wild things with them. And I'm kind of excited because, you know, in this new batch, I've been watching, you know, painters of Age of Sigmar and these new batch of artists, that I want to see how I rank up, and kind of take you on that journey of the mistakes that I'll make and what I'll change and how I changed it. I mean, I have a lot of tips and tricks in my bag of modeling and painting that could come to the forefront and give you guys some ideas, and I'll learn a lot of new things on the way too. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited about this army. I'm curious to see how they play. Here's the basic infantry. Ant pointed out that they look like they have whole like parachuter type cables on them and gear, so I went out if these guys are somebody transports these guys and they drop in. Really cool look to these guys. Like I said, I mean, they seem so over the top. I mean, metal beards and everything. Like, there is some incredible opportunity to bring a ton of color. And yeah, these guys are mainly decked out in metal, and you could probably just, you know, throw metal on, wash them up, dry brush them, whatever, and get them on the table. I want to take it a little further than that. I think there's some great opportunities here to really make a very, very unique army on the table. And yeah, I mean, you know, these are the characters. It's what they look like. This guy, whoever painted this, there's something going on here. There's a harmony that I rarely see. I mean, I feel like this is almost all photoshopped. I mean, whoever painted this did an incredible job for the look and feel of these guys. I mean, I'm just looking at, there's just like a harmonious feel to everything. I mean, yeah, you have silver and bronze mixed together, silver and gold mixed together, and usually that's kind of like an awkward thing. I mean, it can be done very well, but to me, like, it flows. It almost doesn't look real. And kudos to the artist, because he did a hell of a job. He or she did a hell of a job on painting those guys. This ship is absolutely incredible. I'm probably going to start with a ship because it's going to set the trend for most of the army. I'm not sure which ones. I got to see what the prices are and where I can go from there. Little ship looks cool. Like I said, I mean, there's huge area of just the area of color that can be brought into this. I think I really like this theme. I think it's a really cool theme. You don't see a lot of purple that isn't like evil, like super evil guys like I don't know, Dark Elves, for example. But yeah, it's a very cool looking army. These guys, and it's funny because this kind of goes back to what I was saying about talking about steampunk in Age of Sigmar in a fantasy realm. I remember in 8th edition when the Iron Drakes first dropped. I mean, it was like a bomb went off in the community. Like, how can you make these guys look so different than everything? And you know, the Games Workshop took a lot of blowback from that, and not that I don't even know if they cared, but they just look so different, right? And now Age of Sigmar it's just branching out. It has a lot of areas to go creatively, and it seems like that's what they want to do. You know, you have, and I'm pretty ignorant to the fluff of Age of Sigmar, but from my understanding, there's just different areas and realms, and things have evolve differently in different areas. Obviously, these guys are floating cities. I think that brings a lot of ideas for basing. You know, these guys being on grass don't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like, I don't know, a deck of a ship possibly, or even just like floating rocks. I mean, this whole base could just have, you know, cool floating rocks that they're just kind of floating through like a minefield, basically. You know, these guys, I fear. I'm not crazy about these guys. I think there's room for improvement as far as doing some conversion work here. But I kind of have the feeling that these guys are going to be necessary. Like, you're going to have to buy this kit. Like, they're going to be some kind of either Alpha Strike unit or just a real nuisance unit that you're going to have because they don't look that great, right? So to counterbalance that, I'm sure the rules are going to be better. They're not crazy, they're not great, but I could see that there's opportunities here to make them look better. I don't even know what it would be. I think it's just the balls are just odd. You got odd balls. So I don't know. I think some things could be done here to change those guys up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on them. I really dug them. As soon as I saw the airship, I'm just like, yeah, man, I gotta paint this. I gotta paint it. I gotta make it look cool. Do it in a style of my own choosing, and have fun doing it. And when I was thinking about that, I've been talking and talking to a good friend of mine and talking about YouTube content and what we could do to bring more content to this game and other games, and it kind of had my my gears spinning the way it was. And then I saw these guys, and I was like, this is a great opportunity to do some painting on camera, and kind of develop this army and be able to document it in a way, because I've never really documented my armies. A lot of my stuff was painted like a couple nights before a tournament, and I'm just like, I got to get this stuff done, you know. And I took some after pictures and whatnot, and some of my best stuff I don't even own anymore. Like my demons, I sold them off, and you know, I go back and look at some of the pictures and just admire some of the things that I've done and hate some of the things that I've done. And I want something new. I want a new project, and I feel like this is a great opportunity to start something new and start some more content for the channel. So that's about it. I mean, I have no problem with bringing in a different look and feel into Age of Sigmar. I think they have the opportunity to do it, and this is the type of thing that's going to keep Games Workshop one step ahead of competitors, is being able to really look outside of their brand and try to bring in new things. So I haven't really done a lot of like research as far as like getting people's opinion on things, because I have my own opinion, and you know, if I like something, I like it. If I don't, I don't, and I don't need anyone to change my mind. Oh, that sounds so conceited, I guess. Anyway, so I guess that's it, man. That's the video. As soon as I start getting some stuff in as far as the Kharadron Overlords, I'm gonna start that video, and hopefully we'll get some Age of Sigmar battle reports coming up. I got 2K worth of ogres to play. It's gonna be a lot of fun, so I'm trying to get the gang together to do some Age of Sigmar. It's been tough because Magic hit our boys really hard, and they're really into it, which is great for them, but it's kind of leaving me in the dust because I'm not completely into it, and I just don't want to have to maintain buying packs and cards and boxes. And I like tournament play, I like drafts and stuff like that for Magic, but it's really going to pass me by. I don't know how long it's going to last for the crew, and if it lasts a long time, that's great. If not, well, I'll be ready with Age of Sigmar when the boys want to return. So yeah, I guess that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. KOs, baby, here they come.